Oh, we got an error. It's not letting me go live.
No? What?
Okay, it says we're live, but it says we're live, but it was giving me an error saying we're not live.
What?
Anyway, welcome to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 134. Like the way you drink. Tim and Gladys here to have fun with you.
And hopefully you have fun with us as much as we have with you. I am still, so of course I have my wonderful Black Bear Diner peeps that always take great care of me.
Oh, you went with Black Bear, did you?
I went to Black Bear, yeah. So
yeah, we really, nearby me, I don't have a place that really makes, or that has a hamburger that I can get back here quick enough with it. So I made it home tonight.
Oh, beautiful.
And there you go.
You did good.
Yeah.
Good job.
So, and we've got a new air fryer, so I want to talk about that. You know, air frying your fries. Oh my gosh, they're so much better than trying to soak them in oil or do them in the oven takes forever. And
right. No, I'm putting together my salad because the Black Bear, of course, put everything separately. So I'm putting it into my.
Well, I'm going to put my burger and kind of smash it together. So it kind of looks like a burger.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Yep. Now, I didn't put cheese on it tonight. I just did a regular hamburger tonight.
Okay. I did do a cheeseburger because I got a California burger.
Yeah.
And of course, the California burger has pepper jack cheese. So that's what I'm going with today, which I almost had them switch it, you know, because for the longest time, I would just eat a burger and not a cheeseburger. But the Black Bear Diner, for some crazy reason, got me into burgers. And I think it was their burger basket because I'm there for the Rotary Club. And so I started getting their little basket. It was like their avocado toast, love it. Their Shasta breakfast is a scramble that's absolutely delicious. But then I opted to go with their burger basket when they brought it on. And I absolutely love it. But I thought today, I said, I'm going to do something different. And so instead of going with my burger basket, I decided to get one of their burgers. So this happens to be the California one that has avocado and pepper jack cheese. And then, of course, you have the option of coleslaw, soup, salad, fries, tots. I usually go with the salad, so I feel less guilty that I had a big burger, you know. So, and then for my beer, of course, I had to go local, and Vanguard Brewing, they are here local in Wilsonville. They have new owners. And so I opted to go this route. And the reason, I was thinking about them. And as I was thinking about them this Saturday or Sunday, Ted and Sylvia, they're the new owners. They posted, hey, we have the Sinking Star Pale Ale. That was recent to that was when they released it on Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember. I went in yesterday to pick it up, but I got there too early. They didn't open until 3, and I got there at 2, and I said, I'll get it later, and I forgot, so I stopped by today. And so this was, what's today's date? This was on the 20, it says 121. I think they might have meant to put 127, I'm thinking. But this was kind of cool that I was able to pick it up, and 5.7% alcohol by volume. So the Sinking Star Pale Ale. I was excited that it was not an IPA. So Vanguard, thank you so much. Michaela, she was the one that took care of me. And then John, he has worked there before, just kind of helped the previous owner / brewer, Dan. And so I got to chat with John for a little bit. And he was telling me also that they have a vet night, the third Thursday of the month. The people that are around here will take their Corvettes and will park them outside, and they hang out, have beer, chat about vets, and any proceeds from that sale of that night goes to Forward Assist. So they are helping a nonprofit. So that's been kind of cool to find all these things out because my run group on Wednesdays, it's the Wilsonville Pub Run Group meets at Vanguard Brewing. So at 5:30 we meet there on Wednesday, go for a 3 or 4 mile run, come back, and then hang out and have a beer. And of course, I also got the glass that's been chilling in the freezer. So that's what I have.
Well, my glasses are from another brewery we have in town called Three Nations Brewing.
Okay.
And I think when they were 6 years old, we went to a party, so we've got a ton of these glasses. Great for beer. I told you guys, well, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I visited the Armor Brewing Company. They are in Allen, Texas.
Okay.
Also, they also have the Armor Coffee Company, which that's how I first found them. But we found them through, we heard the idea through this lady she actually does an HGTV show here in the area.
Oh,
I
nice.
guess it's her and her husband that own the brewery.
Okay.
So we grabbed two. I grabbed two from there to actually do today. An IPA.
Okay.
Oh, the Armor IPA. And then this one here was one my wife really loved.
Oh, put them both up?
I'm going to put this up here. This one here is a smoked session smoked porter.
Oh.
And the IPA.
All right. Nice. I almost grabbed a second one, but I opted just for one because it was like, you know what, I'm just going to do one today. But I did consider it, and then of course I always have my go-to Coronas, and I think I have a Modelo, and I think I have like 3 different beers in the fridge. So
yeah, I have the Coronas and stuff, but I mean, I know we wanted to go with local, so I'm going to try to do my slow pour. I am not going to pull the whole can out. I'm going to put some of these in the refrigerator, and then when Gwen gets home, we'll finish them tonight. Nice. But there's the IPA. Nice, right. Beautiful golden.
Let's get a color of that. Let's get a picture of these beauties.
And then I mean, when you get that shot, I'm going to pull the smoke up, and we're going to compare them.
Turn it around so I can see the logo.
So the logo is not the same brewery. That's why. It's just.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah.
I'm not showing two different breweries.
All right.
All right, and then
but that looks great.
All right, hold on. I'm going to pull this down so I can pour the smoked session. Which, when you see the darkness on this thing, I'm not a dark beer fan, but I did taste it a few weeks ago, and I was like, wow.
Look at that color.
Dark. Looks almost like a root beer, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It literally, you can smell the smoke into it.
Yeah.
So I figured I'm having a burger. I better have some of the smoke.
There you go. So this one is a smooth, easy drinker that has a deep orange color, which it absolutely does. It's supposed to be like the setting sun, which if I compare it, yes, because the sun is setting here. And it's very subtle bitterness and hints of citrus and melon at 5.7%. So they started this, it was 5 days ago. So actually, I think it was, if it's 5 days ago, that was, so Sunday, Saturday. So I guess it was Thursday that they released this one. But I didn't see it till this weekend. So I'm going to cut this burger because look at that gorgeous looking burger.
I know I should have brought a knife in to cut the burger in half, but still I'm going to try to just go in a hole.
Yeah, that's why I brought my knife, because I'm like going, okay, I'm not going to be able to bite into this thing. This thing is huge.
When I was creating the burger, the one thing when I was trying to do my grocery with it, Gwen was asking me for my grocery list, and I miss. Now, I mean, this is close. It's very close to what we had, but oh man, look at that. I love Kaiser rolls growing up on the East Coast.
This is a Kaiser roll.
All right. But when it comes to what's on different burgers, there's all kinds of sauces you can put onto it. Right. I'm going to tell you my sauce. You ready for this, guys?
Tell me.
Ketchup and mayo.
Oh, yes. That used to be my sauce forever and a day. That was my sauce.
But I've got iceberg lettuce.
Okay.
A big beef tomato, and then I've got red onions into it. Other than that, salt, pepper, a little bit of like onion powder, and then I fry it. I cooked it on the grill, 3 minutes aside, and on about 280 temperature, and cooked up fine.
Mm.
And it goes with both beers. Oh man, I love this IPA.
This is very yummy. This goes very well. The beauty about this beer, in my opinion, is that you can drink this, in my opinion, in the summer. And then right now that it's like 40, is it 41 degrees out? 42 degrees, excuse me, it's 42 degrees. It goes well right now. I mean, the color just still says, kind of winter. It still has that rich flavor to it. But it has that citrusy. And so going with my burger, it went well, even though I took the last little piece that I had was of pickles. It still went well with that. It went well with the Kaiser roll and the flavor of the avocado in with the meat. It went very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
So besides that, are there any extras that you like to add to your burger?
So I didn't do it today, but I do like when you get the right sauce with it. I remember Smash Burger used to have a Chipotle Southwest sauce. And you take and put some fresh jalapenos on it.
Oh, okay.
Not by themselves. You got to have the sauce to make them work.
Okay.
Because then by themselves, you get a hot one. You take one big bite into it, and it will real quick. But with the sauce, it'll neutralize a little bit, and it'll pull the flavor in. Now you get the flavor without the, oh my God, I got to drink something. So things that I've been able to put on my burger over the years. Now, I'm not a big stack the burger type person, but I do like bacon on it.
Oh, yeah.
I do like guacamole on my burger.
See, I'm weird. I love avocado. I don't like guac on my burger.
Okay.
Different texture.
It is.
I'll tolerate the guac, but I love the avocado.
Yeah. Now, I've done it with just the avocado because some places don't have the guac. They just have avocado.
Right.
So, but I've actually put the pickled peppers you get from the store on it. But to me, onions, I got to have fresh red onions, man. Not a chopped up. I don't want it. And don't cook my onions. I want fresh. So,
well, for those of you, if you like the onions, but you think they're a little bit too strong, what you do is that you slice them and then throw them in cold water and let them mellow out for a little bit. Ice water is best. So if you want, put some ice, or throw the onions in the water and then throw the ice on top. Let them hang out, chill for 15, 20 minutes. Throw them, pull them out, let them air dry, if you will. And then that will mellow them out quite a bit. So you'll still get that onion flavor without the bite that you'll get from most onions. Depending on how I feel, I will pull out some of the onions. I'll leave some of the onions, but I'll pull some of it out. I like the thinner ones that are a little, and the interesting thing is, depending on how onions are cut, the flavor will be different. So if you slice an onion, that's one flavor. If you chop the onion, it's a different flavor. If it's a thin cut versus a thicker cut, it's different. And then if you have it round, but then you cut it in the middle, so that way it's half moons, that's a different flavor. So your onions will respond to the way that they are cut. It's science, people. It's science. So check it out, try it. And just, if you're like, oh, well, let me try it different ways. I love mincing my onions on a lot of things, but when it comes to a burger, I prefer the sliced onions, because then I can pull out what I want and leave the rest. And I can gauge how much of a bite I want. When it's chopped, then you're just getting
pieces of it. Yeah.
And it's even, you don't know if you're going to get a bite or not. aside from bacon, I love an avocado. Depending on, you don't like cooked onions, but if I get some grilled onions with mushrooms, and maybe even peppers, I love that on a burger. It is, but if I do that, I will not add cheese.
Uh-huh.
I like it without cheese. And I can have a burger without cheese. That I'm okay with. This avocado with the pepper jack and the avocado just goes very well. The onions go just perfectly fine. I added extra pickles. I love pickles. And I will do a pickle, a spear on the side, and that's okay. Because that sometimes I just want that on the side. And but to have this, with extra pickles, that just, in my opinion, tasted really good. So they did a really good job. And they have done it for me also. So protein style. So for those of you that have gone to In-N-Out, if you ask for a protein style burger, they will wrap it in lettuce for you. Black Bear has done that for me. Not always. Sometimes I just take it as is, and then I just only eat one of the buns and not eat the other bun, because sometimes I want the bun. I just don't want all of it. And especially if I haven't earned my calories that day, I want to make sure that I'm not overindulging in calories, because it's like, oh yeah.
No, I have gotten. No, I mean, I had a favorite burger where I used to go Smash Burger. They don't have it anymore. But there was times that I was like, I didn't want the bun. I would just get it on the plate and sit there and cut it up. All right. And to me, it was just as good. I know kind of In-N-Out, kind of you don't have silverware. So it's a little hard to do that at In-N-Out. But yeah, In-N-Out is one of my favorite burgers. So
I like it animal style. So when I get a burger, somebody said, "Oh, I don't like In-N-Out," and then I want to go to In-N-Out, so I ordered it animal style. They're like, "What the hell is that?" I'm like, "Oh, they grill the onions, with mustard and da-da." And they're like, "Well, I'll try it." And it was like, that's the best burger ever. So animal style is a different beast, no pun intended. It is very yummy. You can have animal style fries also. I don't do that. I'm not the biggest fan of In-N-Out fries. They're okay. You have to eat them right away, because once they get cold, they taste very funky.
they're horrible. And that's the problem, because you're In-N-Out burger. If you eat the fries first, the burger tastes horrible. If you eat the burger, the fries taste horrible. You got to kind of mix and match, because it's hard to finish them both and get all the taste. From In-N-Out, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like all the additives. I like their regular cheeseburger. I don't like the double. I do not like a double cheeseburger. I don't know why. I don't like putting two. I used to. I used to love the Big Mac, right? I don't no more. All right. I just don't.
I will eat a Big Mac maybe once a year.
No.
As I choke thinking about it. But I've gone years. I mean, I didn't have a Big Mac for years, and then all of a sudden it's like, I feel like a Big Mac. But yeah, it was not my when I was a kid, I'd prefer to go to Jack in the Box over McDonald's.
Yeah.
That was just my preference. But yeah, the double burger just seems to be a lot. I'd rather have like this is a third of a pound of meat that they put in this. The basket burger that Black Bear does is, I think it's 3.2 ounces. Actually, let me look. So for those of you that have not gone to Black Bear, when you go to Black Bear, they give you a newspaper. See, it's the Black Bear Gazette. Where the bear is born. So it gives you a little bit of history of the Black Bear Diner. It is a franchise. So it will give you, since 1995, in Mount Shasta, California is where it started. Then it went to Redding, then to Yreka. It is Yreka, Yreka. I do have my neighbor that he grew up in Yreka. It then jumped to Sparks, Nevada, Salinas and Willows, California. And it wasn't until 2000 that they were at the Las Vegas Tropicana, which is no longer there, I believe.
Tropicana was leveled this past year, yeah.
Yeah. And so apparently the Black Bear's out there. I don't know if they've moved. I'm going to have to look to see if they found a new home. And then they were all over Oregon. They got to Arizona in 2001, and then they kept growing in California, Lake Havasu since 2003 in Arizona. And then I'm trying to see, they went to Colorado, 2005, Beaverton, Oregon. And I've driven by that Black Bear Diner. It's been there since then. Colorado Springs in 2006, and then Federal Way, Washington in 2007. So they started expanding just a little bit. Sandy, Utah in 2011, and Grants Pass. So the Grants Pass 2011 is also owned by Amber, who is the owner of this Black Bear here in Wilsonville.
Okay.
Her parents owned Grants Pass and Medford, which are in southern Oregon. And then Amber got Wilsonville. This used to be a Denny's way back when. I was actually here when Denny's was still here. Then they closed it. It became whatever. Then it became, then they had it available. So Amber bought this one, and she now owns all three: Wilsonville, Grants Pass, and Medford. Then they went to Boise, Idaho, 2012. Utah, Nevada, Henderson. They got to Henderson in 2014. Another one in Colorado Springs, 2015. Then they started all over Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Barstow, California. So if you're in Los Angeles and you are heading to Vegas or back, if you are driving and you stop in Barstow, look for the Black Bear Diner. You will find it. Then Newberg, Oregon, 2017, because that's half an hour away from me. Sacramento, and also that same year. They got to Katy, Texas in 2018. That's when they expanded. In Humboldt, Texas, as well as Tulsa, Oklahoma, and St. Charles, Missouri, all in 2018. So a little bit, closer to here. Beaumont, Texas, League City, Texas, North Houston, Texas, and Sugar Land, Texas, as well as Independence, Missouri in 2019. And then the Woodlands, Texas, Cypress, Texas in 2020, Brownsville, Texas, 21, Pasadena, Texas, McAllen, Texas, Mesquite, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Military, Amarillo, Texas, El Paso, Texas, and Parker Heights, Texas, all in 2022. In San Antonio, Texas, Ackerman, and Fort Worth, Texas, Alliance, and Burleson, Texas, 2023. So a lot of Black Bears have now popped up in Texas. That used to be the country. What was the country? There used to be a lot of, what's that?
Whataburger.
No. The breakfast place, country.
Oh, Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. Thank you. Cracker Barrel. That was like all over Texas. And then in 2024, New Braunfels, Texas, Waco, Texas, Baytown, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Laredo, Texas, and Harlingen, Texas. So I don't see, I skipped. I was looking for Texas, did not look at Oregon. But I know this Black Bear has been here for a little bit. I mean, not that long, because it was, why is Wilsonville? Newberg is there. Oh, Wilsonville, 2017. So 2017, and then Amber took over probably after COVID is when she took over. So and they have jukebox. They have an old jukebox, which is, they always have music playing, which is really cool. And they will turn it down when we are there on Thursdays. So between 12 and 1, sorry, if you're here in Wilsonville, you will not hear the music. Then there is the menu, which is pretty extensive. Breakfast all day, which is great. And then in the back, it'll give you the some Bear Brews packs. So some of the things that they're doing here. And then, of course, the life is short, enjoy dessert. That's so it's kind
of their whole. So is that their menu is designed that way, or is it,
Yep, that's their menu. Some people, when they go in there, they don't realize that this is the menu. Have you ordered? Oh, I haven't gotten the menu, and I'm like, here's your menu, during Rotary, because people don't know all the time. But they do have fresh squeezed orange juices, and their shakes apparently are really good. Jake, who's part of my Rotary Club, I gave him the most likely to get brain freeze because he would have dessert like a milkshake for his lunch. And
what's wrong with that?
nothing. He absolutely enjoys it. And their desserts are absolutely delicious. You will get them in a bowl, and when you have them to go, they pull them out. Although the last one that I got, the bread pudding, which was absolutely amazing, I should have probably gotten a dessert for today. Not that I needed it, but I said, can I borrow the bowl? And of course, I washed it and I returned it the next day. I thought they were closed at 7. They closed at 8 that last Monday, but I could have returned it. I returned it on Tuesday. But yeah, it's such a family environment. The one in Ventura, California, they have, I think, karaoke one of the days. I didn't go to that one, but my brother is in Ventura, California. So we drove by and I'm like, hey, the Black Bear Diner. So each Black Bear has its own personality. Yeah. There's a lot of things that they have to follow. That's exactly the way it's supposed to be, but that they're still allowed to have a certain personality. And this one here is very much about family and taking care of their staff and of their customers. And one of the things I found out is that the majority of their customers don't live in Wilsonville.
Wow.
They do not live in Wilsonville. So people are traveling through and stopping by. And then you got people like me, that were there all the time. So you do have your regulars. But when you look at that 80 to 20% are local and the 80% are not. And then they have 2 areas where you can meet. One's a smaller area where you can probably fit maybe 15 people. And then the other area where we normally meet, I think we can fit about 40 people at max capacity there. But it's a great place to come to. Even their staff doesn't live here. One of them travels from Vancouver, Washington every day to come to work, because they love the environment here, and that's why they're here. And then Vanguard Brewing, they've been around, and the locals love to go there and hang out. So when you find that local spot, it's special.
Yeah. Well, we have a local spot here in our town now. It's because it opened last year. It's an Italian restaurant.
Okay.
When we do an Italian meal, I'll probably get something from there and bring it in on a Monday night because they're open on Mondays. Mm. All right, but we don't have a diner. The closest thing we have is the Prairie House, which is kind of a bar, more of a barbecue joint than a bar than anything. And I didn't want to go get their burger. Their burger just does not impress me. I've had it. But I mean, I've got a McDonald's a mile away, 2 miles, or 2.5 miles away. I've got another McDonald's, a Burger King, a Whataburger, things like that. So, and I remember when we first moved here, we went to a burger joint down in Little Elm, which is 2.5 miles the other direction. And the first one we had, we thought was great. The second time we got it, we're like, oh man, well, we were blindsided. You know what I mean? Because we went back, and then we went back one time and sat inside, and we never been back since. It just like it would really like that first time we thought we had a great deal, and it was probably because we were really hungry at the time. Because the second time and the third time we went back, it was nowhere near the same experience, nowhere near the same flavors, nowhere near the same food. All right, and that's a huge turnoff when you find some place that you really like. So
yeah, you think this is it, and then it winds up not being it. Well, that's disappointing.
But I do. I mean, we had, when I lived at the condo, you guys, when we started the show, I had a place across the street that I would go to. And
yeah, I know. I remember that you're like, oh, I got it from there. I think one time you even had it delivered.
No, I didn't have it. I don't think I ever had it delivered from them because I did have stuff on the show delivered once, but I think it was tacos or something. That I would always drive over to that diner because I connected to the owners and I connected to the manager. All right. And then when we moved, of course, you know what I mean? We've not found anything up here. Now we do have the shopping center about a little more than 1.5 miles away being built on the other side of the Polo Club and heading down towards the Elm. And when that gets done, I'm sure we're going to get something in there. That would be great. But so I decided to make mine from home today. I always have burgers in my freezer. So for me to pull a burger out at almost any time and throw it on my grill. I always run my grill up to about a 250, 300 degree temperature for a burger. If I'm doing a steak, I'll go to 500. All right, and get the grill a little warmer. But if I'm doing one burger, I have 4 burner systems, and I'll put 1 burner system. Steaks, I'll put 2, right? Because I just don't want to burn that much fuel for a little burger. So,
well, also, if you're doing a burger, it's a very different consistency. If you're doing a steak, you want to make sure it's nice and even. You char to keep all the juices in, and you want to do the same with the burger, but it's different. You know, when you have ground beef or ground elk. My neighbor has given me ground elk before, or it's like, hey, you want an elk burger? I'm like, sure. It's like, here you go. So,
I mean, no, we did do T-bones yesterday. We had some big T-bones I put on there. And with the 2 burners, I barely fit it in the space. I should have lit 3 burners for the T-bones. Yeah.
Right.
Because they were pretty big burgers, and we didn't finish them all. I could have very easily chopped one of that T-burgers up tonight and made a burger out of it easily, because I still had some left. But I didn't clean pick the bones. I left some meat on the bones, and I gave them to my chickens today.
Oh,
you want to see chickens dive for something? This morning at 7 a.m. when I was throwing out this morning, I threw that the bones with a little bit of meat on them, and those chickens went for that.
Nice.
So,
oh well, you know they got to have their protein too.
Yeah.
It was interesting that there was this one nutritionist that's a vegetarian, and today it was like I came across where she actually said the best protein is going to come from animal products. Plants, it's really hard to get protein, and even if you're getting the protein, you have to intake even more than if you would with animal products. And with a lot of the things, and believe me, I do eat vegetarian food. I'm not against vegetarians. Sometimes I have no meat. I'm just eating whatever it is that I'm having, and it has no meat in it. It might have dairy, maybe some cheese or milk, things of that nature, but I'll go without the actual meat. But so I'm not against that. But when you need a certain level of proteins, the best way is meat, because when I'm looking at vegetarian options, there's so many calories in there. And the taste is a little bit off for me, that it's like, oh, you know what? If I'm going to do the calories, I'm going to put my calories.
Well, no, most of what's considered modern day veganism, and I'm not picking on all vegans when I say this, just modern day, the idea of vegan has gotten to be, well, this is so healthy, we have to make food, and it is more processed than anything. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all for a real vegan diet. In other words, I'm eating salads. All right. I'm turning my corn or my mushroom into a burger rather than eating a processed fake meat.
Right.
I just can't get behind that. I would rather go, okay, I don't want to eat meat. Let me get a good portobello mushroom and spice that thing up and cook it on the grill the same way I would my meat. All right. And have it that way. To me, and I've had, I don't know, one of the greatest things I've had, vegan tacos. Somebody who makes a vegan taco, because you really can't throw processed stuff in a taco and be good. You've got to have vegetables. All right.
Oh, yeah. Potatoes with poblano chilies.
Yes.
Tacos. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite tacos. Potatoes with poblano chilies and the crema. I make those. Absolutely delicious. I love that. Or if you are at a Mexican restaurant and they have crunchy potato tacos, those, and then with the red salsa on top. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely, yep.
So I mean, and literally here at the house, I am trying to study and learn and find a way to start growing our own vegetables, and gonna have a greenhouse to where I can try to keep certain stuff going year round. All right. And then, get some stuff in there that can be, canned or something like that. But I mean, I want to try to build get more of my own food on my own property, and I don't have a fancy farm or like that, or anything like that. But I think if we got back more to to growing our food, and we understood what it really came from to make it. That being said, one of my favorite jokes online is when the lady, that cat and that lady fighting meme on like Facebook or Twitter or something like, or X, and you know what I mean, the cat saying one thing and the lady saying the other one, and the cat goes, well, I this is meat, this is plant-based meat. And she goes, what plant? The meat packing plant. Sorry, I had to throw my bad joke in.
Oh,
there we go. Robert says portobello mushrooms rock. Yes, they do, man. You can do a portobello mushroom up, and it can be one tasty burger sandwich, all right, as just a portobello mushroom. Especially when you add a free-range grass-fed beef burger and a goat cheese in between the buns. Yep. Just saying. So, just showing you, ladies and gentlemen, our listeners have taste. That's why they're our listeners.
Yes. And we do try to bring a variety of different flavors in for you all to try if you've not tried something. But I do. It was interesting that when I was in Texas, I had brought in some vegetarian Indian food.
Yeah.
And they're like, and that whole week I was bringing in different things, but I did Indian food because I was feeding some of the folks that were visiting us. Well, they were working, but they were visiting us from Hyderabad, India. And then somebody said, "Are you vegetarian?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, how'd you learn to make this?" I'm like, "I followed the recipe." Yeah. Following recipes is great when there's some foods that you don't know how to make, or, ideas. There's a lot out there where you can find vegetarian food or vegan food. You can find it. There's a lot of people that are vegan that have been vegan for centuries. Mm-hmm. And there are so many great flavors out there. Yeah. Indian food is a great way if you want to do vegetarian or vegan. There's a lot of good food. They just don't use meat products. The
Indian food. Now I was willing to go try one with my wife a couple of weeks back, and she's like, "No, you're not going to like it." So there are certain, and for me, it's the overabundance of spice. Now, Indian food, I believe, is the one that they like. Hey, if a little bit of spice is good, a lot more spice would be great. And I think that's the theory behind it. And I'm not picking on it, right? It's just some of the spice they have just doesn't gel well with me. Now, some of the Mexican spices are the same way with me. They just don't gel with me. I don't like them. Not anything against them. I just don't like them. But I mean, my wife was that way in the beginning with Thai food, and I can find stuff. If we go to a Thai restaurant, I can find stuff I want to eat, and I'll eat at a Thai restaurant. But I've yet to go do Indian because it's not. I mean, I look at the menu and go, well, the chicken, I might go try it sometime. All right.
Chicken biryani is an easy way to go. You get some naan bread.
Yeah.
Some chicken biryani, and then get the samosas. The samosas are an appetizer. They're like a little empanada, and you dip it in either mint or tamarind sauce. Okay. You have those. Oh my goodness. You're going to have a great meal. It's not pungent. And so those are three things that I would suggest to start with. Curry can be very delicious, but it depends on which curry. There's a yellow curry, green curry, red curry.
Yeah. I think that's curry's the thing I don't like.
Yeah, and just stay away from the curry.
And I understand Indian food, there's a lot of curry. So now that being said, I mean, the other thing is, what was the other spice that I actually put on my flank steak that I thought was like a spice similar to that, and I can't remember what it was. But I've started adding it to my steak, and or to my flank steak. So if I get a flank steak, so I'm cooking the whole flat flank, I make a rub to go on it. I don't, a regular steak like my T-bones last night, salt, pepper, olive oil. That's it, baby. I don't need to add all that stuff to it. All right. It is the one thing. Steak is something I eat with salt and pepper. Salmon is the other way. Put salt, put pepper onto it. I'm good.
Well, if you have a good steak, that's all it needs. Yeah. If you don't have a good steak and you need to add all the other stuff to make it taste good, but if it's a good steak, that you put salt, pepper on it, a delicious steak, that's all it needs. Yeah. When I was in Texas, we went to this festival, and most of the wineries were they had, and of course it was August, so it was a little hot, or a lot hot, and they were like, oh, this slush this or the spritzer that, and it's like, if you have to add, all this stuff to make your wine taste good, I don't know if I'm going to like your wine, because you're going to give me a headache the next day. I don't need that. I want a good wine should stand on its own. Oh my goodness. Okay. The sunset, I'm going to have to step away for a minute while I get a picture of this, because
you're going to do that. So, I mean, but so flavor. So tonight's episode was about hamburgers, local beer, kind of the local idea. All right. What do you do in your local area? And as you've seen, Gladys's local is different than my local, right? But in your area, you've got to find out what you locally love. Like I said, my local love is we have a great Italian place, Laristica, it's called, and we've met the owners. We've gotten to know them very, very well. And really, it is our favorite place. They have a great flatbread bread. They have many great pasta dishes. All right. They have a creme brulee that I just love. All right. They have all kinds of good things. We went there for New Year's Eve this year, and I really love it because I love it. It's a brother, sister who run it, family owned. That's what local is all about. Tonight, we just picked local burgers, all right, because we could get a local burger. In my case, my only local burger is McDonald's right now, so I made it. With that being said, I do like McDonald's burgers, just the regular cheeseburger, and the regular cheeseburger, the fish sandwich, and the chicken sandwich. I love them, right? I can't remember the last time I had a Big Mac. Big Mac is just too much for me anymore. I love their it's not a daily double. It's they have one of their it's like a certain special burger that I can change and put mayo onto it.
Oh,
and I can't remember what the name of it is. Then I'll have that. But to me, I will go get, I'll probably once a week, I go get 2 cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
Okay.
And that's my meal. And a Dr. Pepper from there, or a cup of coffee at the Starbucks next door. That's my meal. And the reason I do that is when I was homeless, I've said this many a time on this podcast, on the Tim Gillette show, on, Simple Easy podcast, all of them. When I was homeless, I had $1 for $2, a day I could eat. So I would eat the $1 burger, and they had a $1 McDouble and a $1 McChicken. And I would get the $1 McDouble, the $1 McChicken, and it was $2.24. And that was a meal for me, and a cup of water. Sometimes you have to remember what you went through to get to where you are. And because of that, I've never learned to hate the McDonald's burger. Now, I'm not going to eat it 6 days a week anymore. Maybe once a week I have it, and it's just a reminder of that's where I was, and it's still okay with me. I still enjoy it. But that being said.
So I have to show you.
No, let's see the sunset. I
know it's kind of hard to see the red, but when I saw the red, because I could just see it right over my screen, I'm like, I need to get a picture of the beer with the sunset to try to get those colors that are just, they're in line. So I had to get that. So I'll post it, y'all. Just watch it. Look for it on Facebook. You'll be able to go, yep, those are the colors of this beer. It definitely looks like a sunset. So I will say that the sinking star lives up to its name. So thank you, Vanguard.
Cool.
And it goes darn well with burger.
So I'm kind of glad we did burgers. Now, burger is one of my favorite meals. And yes, I'm all about my local food. I do miss from the East Coast. We used to go to diners. And I know your Black Bear Diner is kind of the same thing. The East Coast, we had diners everywhere. I want to say I was close to 30 years old before I ate in a chain on a regular basis. And I think the first chain I ate in a regular basis was Denny's. And when I moved to Dallas, I think I ate at Denny's almost all the time, instead of going to the Chili's, to the all the other stuff that's out there now. But now the small places are kind of gone, and now in Dallas anyway.
No, it's across the board. I mean, I had a couple of clients that closed shop this last year. One of them, I think he's still unwinding. And their thing is, we can't compete
Yeah.
with the bigger chains. We can't compete with, conglomerates. We just, we've been trying. And one of my clients was like, I've known him. He's been my client for this year would have been 5 years. And it was so sad to hear that. And I was so glad he was still around. And I've given him business. I've sent him business, but it was still not enough to stay open. And he had 14 employees at one time. He went down to 3 and then laid off the last 2 in November, December, and then closed shop, pretty much at the end of December.
But that's part of what we were talking about in the whole vegan thing, in the processed food. The reason a lot of these places are is because they're bringing in processed food that's cheaper to produce than natural foods.
Yep.
And that's where when you go local, I mean, we have 3 farmers markets in the area. I get the chance. I want to go to the farmers market, pick up some fresh beef, pick up some fresh tomatoes. Yep. I want it there because some local guy grew that in his garden. Not,
yeah.
All right. It's not. I love Kroger. I don't want to put Kroger down, but Kroger's getting stuff from a big farm.
They are. It makes a huge difference. I mean, I think I mentioned it at one of the podcasts that the last time my salsa was absolutely delicious was when my friend Donna brought me this, tray, this aluminum tray of tomatoes. She goes, my tomatoes are just going crazy this year. She gave me a ton of tomatoes. So I'm like, and I love tomatoes. I was like eating them with salt. Just, growing up, I would do that. I would add just a little bit of salt and eat tomatoes.
I'll do salt and pepper. I've done mine. Oh, yeah.
My mouth watered. But it was just salt when I grew up. I didn't add pepper because that was for me. But I did that to one tomato. I used it for other things. But then I made salsa, and it was like the best tasting salsa. Mm-hmm. And it was like same salsa. The difference was the homegrown, delicious, sweet tomatoes that made a world of difference.
On your salsa, do you like to have chunky salsa, or do you like to have that?
So what I do is, because I do put it in the blender, it usually winds up being more not really chunky, but I do love to then go back and add fresh cilantro for what I'm serving. So I don't put it in my jar because cilantro is not going to hold. So I'll make my salsa. I'll put it in its jar, in the mason jar. When I serve it, I will add chopped up cilantro. And when you chop cilantro, people, it will bruise. So make sure you get it, you roll it, and then you just, when you're doing like slivers like this, you got to be gentle on the cilantro because it will bruise. If it bruises, it changes its flavor. You want to keep that nice, beautiful, bright flavor. Don't bruise your cilantro or just tear it with. I had a friend, she would hand pick all her cilantro, but leaf by leaf. That was a little too much for my taste. But I will love to add cilantro to my salsa because I love that fresh flavor. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I've bought like the salsa I like from the store, but then because it's too chunky, I put it in the little bullet blender.
There you go.
Because I don't like it chunky. I want it like to me. So the salsa I like is, if you ever been to oh God, what is the name of that place? It's a Mexican restaurant down here that I love, and I can't Tex-Mex that I love, and they have the really runny salsa. That's what I like. It goes. Anything you do in life goes down to what you like. Not right, not wrong.
It's just preference. Yeah.
My wife likes this. I like this. It's okay.
Yeah. And then for me, I don't like IPAs because they taste like grapefruit. So that's just my flavor palette.
And what am I drinking? An IPA.
Go for it. And this is a beautiful pale ale. I mean, it is just gorgeous because it's not watered down. It has great flavor. Those citrus, they were true on that. It holds its own, and it just has depth to it. So like I said, it's a great winter beer as well as a summer beer. Put it in throw your glasses. Always have a couple of glasses in the freezer. So when you pull them out, it just keeps your drink nice and cold a little bit longer.
And I did that tonight. I threw them in while I was making my burger. I threw the glasses in the freezer.
Go.
All right. And I'm kind of glad I did because it's still got this glass, still got somewhat of a chill to it. Nice. But anyway, my beers I've had these beers since I brought them home a week and a half ago. And in the
today.
refrigerator. I have no room for anything else in my refrigerator because I'm stacked with beers and I got some of those cane sodas and yeah.
And I had other beers at home, but when I saw that there was a new beer that just came out from Vanguard, I'm like, that's who I need to, go get. So that was a must have. So thank you very much, Vanguard, for still being around. Our other brewery that was here in town, they closed shop last year. They just, after 10 years, they closed shop, and that was so sad. And to see Vanguard still here, it's like, yes, the pub run group still has a place to go call home, as well as they have a mug club. So you get one free mug a month, I think it is, and a discount on any subsequent mugs. And you have your own mug that is up on the wall, your number. And so, that's kind of cool too. So,
And to kind of put a tail end to all this with our podcast tonight, guys, you've got to support your local businesses. All right. The last couple of years have been tough on local small businesses. And unless some of you have forgotten, local small businesses is what built this country. All right. I've always been a small local business guy. Right. Would I love to have the next Meta or Facebook? No, not really. All right. I would rather sit and work with 10 local business guys and find a way to help them work. That's the world I like. But that's my opinion. Support your local businesses, guys, because some of them have some great artwork. This is great artwork.
right.
And I want to support it because I want to be able to come back there in 4 years and visit again.
So with that, we are going to remind you to go to likethewayyouDrink.com, become a part of our Insiders Club. You have to be 21 or over to join, because there are, certain things that we have to follow. And so make sure we're going to ask for your birth date there so that we verify that you are 21 or over. You will be invited to specific things that Tim and I are doing. There's so many things that are happening. And we want you to be in the know. We want to invite you. It is free to join. If you do an activity, there might be some cost involved, but if you are local to Tim or local to me, we might be able to get you into certain things for free or dirt cheap, whatever we can do, again, to help support local. I'll be posting my runs with a part of the Brew Crew, the Oregon Brew Running Series. I joined again this year. I started talking to them about being a sponsor this year, and I got busy, and so I didn't talk to them. So maybe next year or maybe later this year, we'll figure something out, and then we'll start inviting y'all to the run so that you can come run, walk, and have a beer at the local breweries here in Oregon. They are all over the United States, so look up the Brewery Run Series. There might be one in your town.
There should be. Anyway, I guess you're giving your shout out today.
My shout out is to, Michaela and John. John, for giving me a little bit more info on Vanguard. That was really cool. Of course, to the Black Bear Diner for always taking care of me. And, so that was kind of fun to be able to make sure that they took care of me. And they do have clothing. I was going through the clothing rack while my burger was getting done. So those are my shout outs for this week.
I might have some unique shout outs today because of the fact that, number one, I'm going to shout out to Robert. He's always a faithful member. He's always been listening to us for years. Yep. Since we started, Robert's been one of our faithful listeners since we started this 134 episodes ago.
And y'all, he doesn't even drink.
And he doesn't drink. He's an alcoholic. So we appreciate you coming by. He shares great things with the food. He talks about flavor. All right. Even though he doesn't drink. And Robert, all right, we're never trying to make you drink again. If it was a problem, please don't. All right. But I looked over on Facebook real quick while she was talking, and I'm just going to give a shout out to people I noticed who liked the episode today. All right. Julie Sears, my great friend here, insurance friend here in the Dallas area. And Michael Faber. All right. If you haven't checked out Michael Faber, he's a great, great guy. He's up out of Delaware. Oops, I shouldn't have kicked that on because it's going to double kick me. But Michael has a great movement maker thing that he's doing in, I want to say it's Nashville. Michael, forgive me if I'm wrong. Go ahead and put it in the comments. All right. He's a great guy. I've yet to make his events. I told him I was coming last year and something came up last minute. And he probably hates me right now because he saved a seat for me and I didn't come. But anyway, he's just like Craig. He's got a great community. He's doing great things to coaching people. So I'm going to shout out to those people who are listening in today. And to you, if you're listening to a recording, if you listened to us over the years, we appreciate you. All right. You guys are really why we started the show, because we wanted to find out flavor and find out different things. So that's my shout outs for today.
Yeah. Thank you all to our listeners. We appreciate you. We would not be here if it wasn't for you. We love sharing the information, the feedback. Sometimes those of you that know us, you might message us directly, and we appreciate that, sharing information, laughing at us behind the scenes via text. You're poking fun at us directly rather than posting it on Facebook, because you're like, oh yeah, okay, I won't tease Gladys about that in public, but I'll do it,
No worries. Not an alcoholic though. Okay, well, good, Robert. I didn't want to. Yeah, I was on a mission to be able to outdrink my brother, and once that happened, well, I know. Once I beat my brothers, a lot of things I didn't care anymore either. So now Gladys is trying to get me to beat her at running, and that ain't happening.
One of these days, he's going to try. But the problem, good thing is I got CPR certified again. So when he passes out, I'll be able to, try to keep him alive while the EMTs get there.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, all right, ladies and gentlemen, our podcast this week every week is brought to you by Gladys and I's businesses. All right, we have 2 companies, and we basically pay the bills so we can come out and have fun every week here on a podcast. So let's tell you a couple minutes about our business. All right, we've got to give a commercial. Of course, it is always ladies first.
Thank you, Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping you become employer of choice through providing employee benefits. There are 101 different ways you can attract and retain quality staff. Let's have the conversation, because if you want the white paper, go to Insurance Design Pros. On the upper left-hand corner, there is a little button. You can click on it. You can get the download. That's like a 2 or 3 pager that will give you these in the high level. This is the book that goes into more detail. You can find it on Amazon. But if you want to get a meeting with me so that we can talk in detail, what is going to work for your business, go to enrollnoworegon.com, and that will get you to my schedule, which means that half hour is your time to talk about what you need, and we will discuss which one of these 101 different ways are going to work with your staff and for your budget. And if I cannot help you with something, guess what? I probably know somebody who will. So go to enrollnoworegon.com and schedule a time. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my co-host.
Hi, guys. My name is Tim Gillette, and I have simple, easy websites. In 2023, a lot of people on my list asked me, Tim, can you help me find an affordable website solution? So rather than go out and try to put a bunch of people together from overseas, we created a small company to actually help the small businessman, the entrepreneur, the solopreneur get out there and have themselves with a good presence online. This past week, I actually just talked, and we're in the process right now of putting the deal together for a childhood friend who has an internationally known business to do his website for him. All right. I will shout out to him later next week once the deal is signed, but he's a friend of mine, and his name's Kevin. And Kevin and I go all the way back to the 1980s. We have been friends for more than 40 years. All right. And we're going to be doing his website now. All right. When you actually do things like you start something on a mission because you believe in it, the audience follows. We are 100% building websites in America, ladies and gentlemen. We are not outsourcing these things and having somebody in India or the Philippines build it for you. We outsource it. We don't outsource. We actually do it in-house. All right. We have a team of people here in the United States, and you actually get to text message and work back and forth with me or with the designer on your site. There's no third party talk to the salesman all the time. No, dial 1-800 to get in there. No, it's a person-to-person business, and we want you to be able to run your business, run your dream, and we'll take care of the website for you and get it to bring in the leads you need. Tim Gillette, simple, easy websites. Booking a consultation. Let's see if we can help you. Other than that, I guess it's another week.
It is. Enjoy it. Go get a burger, a local burger at your local burger joint. You know what? Even if it's Red Robin, that is a franchise, it is still local to your community because somebody in your community got that location. So go have a burger and have a beer.
And hey, do me a favor, put in the comments your burger and your beer. I want to know what you had, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys next week.
Even if it's at home. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.